At 9:49 p.m., the ocean forgot how to stay wet. One spark taught the sea how to burn. A quiet evening on the water. The Gulf of Mexico was calm that evening, the kind of calm that makes the ocean look endless and forgiving. The Deepwater Horizon floated steadily on the dark water, lights glowing like a small city far from land. For the men aboard her, it was supposed to be an ordinary night, the final stretch of a long job. Most of the crew had been offshore for weeks. They worked 12-hour shifts, slept in narrow bunks, and learned to measure time by routines, meals, safety meetings, and the steady rhythm of machines. Many were thinking about home, about wives, husbands, children, and the comfort of dry land. Mike Williams, the chief electronics technician, finished a check of the control systems and glanced at a photo of his family. He slipped the phone back into his pocket and returned to work. The rig had rules and safeguards, layers of protection meant to keep everyone safe. It always had. Deep below the surface, nearly a mile beneath the waves, far beyond sight or sound, the Macondo well reached deep into the earth. Oil and gas were trapped there under enormous pressure, held back only by steel casing, cement, and a complex safety system called a blowout preventer. Earlier that day, the crew had been preparing to temporarily seal the well. A critical step, the negative pressure test, was meant to confirm that everything below was secure. The readings were strange. Pressure appeared where there should have been none. Some crew members were uneasy. Jimmy Harrell, the rig's tool pusher and a veteran of decades offshore, didn't like what he saw. He questioned the results. Others believed the readings could be explained. The decision was made to continue. It was not a reckless moment, but it was a fragile one, a point where uncertainty was mistaken for safety. The last routine tasks. As evening settled in, heavy drilling mud was slowly replaced with lighter seawater. This step made the well more vulnerable if the barriers below were not sound. Gas, if it found a path, could rise quickly. In the control room, monitors flickered with numbers. On the drill floor, men worked by habit, trusting the systems they had trusted before. Alarms chirped briefly and then fell silent. Nothing dramatic, nothing that demanded panic. The ocean remained calm. 9:40 p.m. The change came suddenly. Gas surged upward through the well, expanding as it rose. Pressure climbed fast, too fast. Alarms screamed across the rig. Someone shouted, "We've got a kick!" Mud shot out where it should not have been. Efforts were made to control the flow, to divert it safely. But the gas had already reached the rig. At 9:49 p.m., the first explosion tore through the Deepwater Horizon. The night lit up as if the sea itself had caught fire. Fire and darkness. The force of the blast threw men off their feet. Steel bent. Walls shook. A second explosion followed moments later, stronger than the first. Flames climbed the derrick and smoke filled every corridor. Power failed. Lights went out. Yet even in the chaos, people helped one another. Men guided the injured through smoke-filled hallways. Voices called out directions. Training took over where fear might have ruled. On the bridge, attempts were made to activate emergency systems, including the blowout preventer far below the sea. It did not respond. Later investigations would reveal why, but in that moment, there was only silence from the machines meant to save them. Leaving the rig. Lifeboats were lowered into the dark water. Some crew members could not reach them and made the only choice left, jumping into the sea below, trusting the water more than the burning steel above. Rescue vessels raced toward the flames. One by one, survivors were pulled from the water, wrapped in blankets, their faces lit by fire and shock. By midnight, most of the crew was accounted for. 11 were not. Dawn. When morning came, the Deepwater Horizon was still burning. Thick smoke rose into the sky. 2 days later, the rig slowly tilted and disappeared beneath the surface of the Gulf. Oil followed. For 87 days, crude oil poured into the sea, spreading across the water and washing ashore. Birds, fish, coastlines, and livelihoods were changed. Investigations would later conclude what many already felt in their hearts. The disaster was not caused by one single failure, but by many small decisions, missed warnings, and systems that did not protect as they should have. Remembering. The story of Deepwater Horizon is not only about oil or machines. It is about people, about work done far from shore, about trust in systems, and about the cost when that trust is misplaced. 11 men lost their lives that night. Their names are remembered. Conclusion. What began as a routine drilling operation at the Macondo well ended as humanity's starkest warning. A single spark, a cascade of failures, and the ocean turned traitor, bleeding millions of barrels of crude across fragile ecosystems, coastlines, and lives for months to come. That night, the sea did not merely witness disaster. It wore it like a crown of fire, reminding us how thin the line remains between conquest and catastrophe. The flames have long been extinguished, but the scar they left still glows beneath the waves.